Hello and welcome to the AccuMap Land Data training video. Let's begin by changing our scale and location to a specific area. I'm going to change my scale and location to the township 96, range 5, west of 6, and a screen scale of 150,000. Let's take a look at the available land layers through AccuMap. If I push the arrow beside our land parent level, I can expand it to the sublayers and view the different agreement types. The first agreement type is our Crown agreements. I'm going to change the layer properties of the Crown agreement to a blue color. Click Apply for those changes to take place. You can see the preview has now changed. If I click the checkbox beside the layer, it will automatically add that layer to our map. Here you can see all of the areas that have a Crown agreement. In the new version of AccuMap, we have added the ability to make your layers transparent. With our Crown agreement layers being transparent, we can now see areas that have multiple agreements. Areas with the lighter color indicate single agreements. Areas with darker colors with multiple layers overlapping indicate multiple agreements. Let's now apply our open Crown layer. First, I'm going to change the layer attributes. Change it from this green color to a red. Click on Apply. You can see the preview changes for this layer. If I put the check mark beside the layer, it will automatically apply to our map. Now you can see a mixed rights map. Any area with just the red shows undisposed land or open Crown. Any areas with just the blue indicate Crown agreement only. And any areas with the blue and the red overlapping it, making a purple color, indicate a mixed rights area. We are also able to add different patterns to our fill style, such as a cross-hatching pattern. Click on Apply, and you can see that change take place. You are also able to change the draw order of your layers in AccuMap. The fourth button at the top of our layer legend is where we can change the draw order. Items listed first are drawn first. The first layers drawn are the Crown layer. On top of that we have our open Crown. On top of that we have grid layers. Even further on top we have our wells, and the very top would be our land text. So if we want to make any changes to these layers, we simply can click and drag and change the order in which these appear on our map. So now you can see the open Crown beneath the land Crown. If we want to change that order back, we simply click and drag and return it back in the order. Another land layer that is available to be visually displayed on our map is our sales postings layer. If we click on the arrow beside the sales postings, we can expand and see all of the future sales postings. In addition to the 2 monthly updates that AccuMap receives, land data is also updated on the Fridays between those. This ensures your land data is updated every single week. I'm going to turn off my 2 land layers and then turn off my sales postings layer to demonstrate. You'll notice that in this location and scale, there are no sales postings visible. We will need to zoom out or change our scale and location to view some future sales postings. Let's click on our Zoom Out drop-down menu and zoom out 6 times. Here we can see a number of different areas in which future sales postings will be held. I'm going to push the back button to return to our previous view. The last land layer of interest is our land text layer. You may notice that the land text layer is italicized and grayed out. This is to do with the visible scale range. You'll note that the visible scale range is set from 0 to 125,000, while our current screen scale is at 150,000. If I change the max screen scale for the land text layer to 150,000, click on Apply, you'll now see that the land text layer is no longer grayed out. I can now apply it to my map and it will be visible. You can see a number of different land text symbols. I'm going to zoom into a specific area to demonstrate these symbols. Here are a number of land text symbols. The circles indicate petroleum and natural gas leases. The ovals with NGL indicate natural gas lease only. There's various other information as well, such as the licensee name, some price per hectare numbers, as well as some lease and rights information. To view a legend of all of the land text symbols, simply use the Help menu and search for land text legend. I'm going to click on the back button to return to our previous view. Also turning off the land text layer. Now that we've learned how to visually display some of our land data, let's move on and inspect this data a little bit further. I'm going to turn on my crown and my open crown layers that we've customized, and then turn on the Inspect tool. Under the Data tab, we have the button for Inspect Mode. It's going to give me a message saying I need to use the layer legend to select which layers I'd like to inspect on. Simply clicking the magnifying glass Inspect Mode beside the layer you wish to inspect on will turn the Inspect Mode on for that layer. As I move my cursor about, you will see a tooltip describing the information of the land layer I am hovering over. This tooltip is completely customizable. To customize this tooltip, we right-click and go to Inspect Setup. This will open up our Inspect Settings window. The column on the right indicates the items that are currently displayed on our tooltip. The left-hand column are all of the data fields in which you can add to your tooltip. To remove items from your tooltip, simply highlight that item, click on the left arrow to remove it. You can also highlight multiple items at once using your Shift or Control key and remove multiple items at once. To add items to your list, simply find the information you are interested in, highlight it, use the right arrow to add it to your list. You may also use the Filter Data field search window and search for a specific item. If I'm interested in the term information, I can type in term and add that to my tooltip. Once you're satisfied with your choices, simply click on OK and it will confirm your changes. Now when I hover over a Crown Land agreement, it shows the customized information. If you encounter a tooltip that has one of two, in this case, or one of X, this indicates that you're currently hovering over multiple tooltips. To toggle through these tooltips, you simply click on the spacebar. Another functionality of the Inspect mode is the ability to open up data cards. Here we have our land data card. You will note that since I was hovering over multiple events with my cursor, it opened up the data cards for all of those events. Here we see our land crown data card. The first data tab is a summary tab. Here we can see header information such as our agreement, date, and sales information, any legal rights, a reference map, mineral rights diagram, and the interest holders. Our second tab is our continuations data. Here we see our same header information, any continuations data, the government wells located on the agreement, key wells, and any term adjustments. The third tab is our production tab. This shows us some header information, as well as our interest holders, our reference map, and the production data for our agreement wells. At the bottom, we see a summary of our production data. If we are interested in seeing what a 50% working interest would be for our production data, we can simply click in our working interest window, type in 50%, and you will see the cumulative data change for that working interest. The fourth tab is our Remarks and History tab, where we have our same header information, remarks, the status history, and any encumbrances listed. We can also view our Open Crown card. Here we simply can see the legal rights, a reference map, and a mineral rights diagram. Additionally, we're able to make a custom data tab. If we go to the Layout menu, Tabs, click on New tab, enter name for that data tab. I'm going to call it Land Data. Here we have the option to select the custom data viewed in our Land Data tab. Right-click on the blue header to start customizing your data tab. You can change your content, split the panel, or remove the panel. First, I'm going to split the panel. I'm going to split it horizontally. Now I have two separate panels to add my custom data to. On the left-hand side, I'm going to change the content to header. On the right-hand side, I'm going to add a reference map. Continue splitting and adding content until you have your customized tab. You can adjust any tabs that you've created by clicking above the header and dragging it to the location desired. Now that we've inspected our land data, we may be interested in finding specific items. This is where we can use our query tool. Under the Data tab, we have our Query button. This opens up our query window. Your first option is to select which data set you'd like to query. Today, I'd like to do a query on our land crown data. Your next option is to select which region you'd like to query about. You can query a list, a map annotation, your map screen, or user layers. Today I will query our map screen. Click on Add to add it to your list of query terms. Next, you must add a list of query terms to filter your data to your specific requirements. I'm interested in finding data with a specific interest holder. Under our Crown Land Data field, we have interest holder. Two different operators, either equal to or not equal to, and then a search window where we can search for a specific company. Today I'm interested in finding the interest holder of Canadian Natural Resources. Select the company names you'd wish to add. Click on the single right arrow to add it. Click on Add to add it to your list of query terms. Once you have your specific query terms, click on Run Query. Here is our window displaying our query results. It has found 124 of the 219 Crown agreements belong to Canadian Natural Resources in my map screen. I can then set my map symbol to change how this will be visually displayed on our map. Change the color from red to blue. Click on OK. See, the preview has now changed. I have a number of different options to work with my query results data. The first option is to show the results on the map. Here we simply have added our query results to our map. I can navigate away from this location, and the results will remain until I simply click on Clear Results. Our second option is to save this query to a list and attach it to our map. I'm going to call this CNRL land. Click on Save to save it to your directory. Now you can see the query has been attached to my map, as well as been added as a layer underneath the list's parent level. Let's run another query. This time I'm interested in finding all of the land that will expire in the next 2 years. I'm going to use the same region as my map screen. I'm going to search for a specific data field that I'm interested in. I'm interested in finding the expiry date, so I'm going to type in expire date. I then want to choose the operator and the date in which I'm interested in. So I want everything less than or equal to 2 years from today's date. Click on Add to add that to my query terms. Here you can see the results for our second query. 34 of the 219 Crown agreements in this area are going to expire in the next 2 years. I'm going to change the map symbol for this query from a blue to a red. Click on OK. I'm going to save and attach this list as well. I'm going to call this expires in less than or equal to 2 years. You'll note that AccuMap knows that you cannot save a file with special characters, so it has replaced the less than symbol with the LT. I'm going to save this to my directory. Now you can see that my second query has been attached to my map, as well as added as a layer under my list's parent level. Now that we've created a few lists using our query tool, let's learn how to work with these lists. The first item in working with lists is changing the draw order. We go to our fourth tool in our layer legend. We scroll down to our lists. Simply click and drag, and we'll change the draw order on our map. If you wish to detach a list, simply right-click, go to Detach List, and it will remove that list from our map. Under the Lists tab, we have a number of options to work with our lists. First, we can attach a list to our map, browse for where the list is located, click on the list you wish to attach, and click on Attach. One thing to note is that newly attached lists will be attached using AccuMap default attributes. In this case, those attributes are a red color. We can also edit our lists, update our lists, print a list, and open up a list in a data card. Let's now move on to posting data to our map. To post to a specific layer, you must first turn that layer on. I'm going to turn off my lists for now, and then turn on our Crown land agreements. To post data, we simply access the posting tool underneath the Data tab, and then there's a drop-down for our postings tool. Today I'm going to select the Land Crown dataset. This opens up our Land Crown posting window. On the right-hand side are all of the different data fields that you can add to the 6 different posting slots. In the first field, I will add agreement number. Under Crown Land, I'm going to select agreement number. It's automatically added to the first field. You can then go in and either use the layer color or select a custom color. I'm going to keep it with the red color. In the second field, I will add acquisition type and change this color to orange. In the third field, I will add annual rent, change that to a yellow color. In the fourth field, I will add substance, change that to green. In the fifth field, I will add interest holder, change that to blue. And the last field, I will add rights and change that to purple. You can then either turn the units on or off, change the units type. You have the option to turn off your posting, as well as a number of font options. If we go into the font options, you can go in and change your font, the effects, the style, as well as the maximum size. I'm going to change the maximum size to 144. Click on OK to confirm your changes. Now you can see some additional data being posted to our Crown agreements. Let's zoom in to see this better. Now you can see the 6 different fields that we've posted to our land Crown agreements. You also have the option to post to a specific list. If we return to our postings tool, back into the land Crown, you have the option to choose which land data you want to post to. I'm going to choose my expires in less than equals 2 years list. I can then add up to 6 data fields. In the first, I will again add the agreement number, change that to a red color, and then the rights, and change that to a purple color. Click on OK to save these changes. Like I mentioned before, to post to a layer, that layer must be turned on. So I'm going to turn off my Crown layer. I will then turn on my expires in less than or equal to 2 years list. I'll zoom in to demonstrate. Here we can see our agreement number and our rights. Let's move on to exporting our land data. Under the Data tab, we have the option to select our Export Manager. To do an Excel export, we simply click the Excel tab and run through the various steps. The first step is to select the category. Today we want to export our land Crown data. Second step is to select a list. I will select my expires in less than or equal to 2 years list. Third step is to select a template. I'm going to select the System Interest Holder template. Our fourth step is to select some formatting options, and the last step is to select our units and our datum. If we wish, we can select either a NAD27 or a NAD83 datum. Click on Export to export this data to an Excel spreadsheet. Here we see the Excel export for our expires in less than or equal to 2 years land list for their interest holder information. We also have the option to create a custom template if we click on the Editor button. You can select items on the right-hand column to remove them or to change their place in the list. On the left-hand column, you are able to add additional items. Under Tracked, I'm going to add the substance. Click on the right arrow to add it to your template attributes. And you will notice it automatically adds the track number. Then going to save this template. I'm going to call this interest holder with substance. Click on save. It adds a user dash to the front of the template. Click on close, and now I'm able to select my custom user template from the list. This time I will disable my spreadsheet formatting and click on export. Here we have a blankly formatted Excel export of our custom template. We are also able to do a working interest land export. You have the option to search our database for a company name, or you can select a list. I'm going to add our expires in less than or equal to 2 years list. You then have the option to select a number of different report styles, either a basic report, working interest report, or working interest summary. Click on export. Here we see our working interest production summary export. Additionally, there are a number of other types of land reports you can export as well. That concludes our AccuMap land data training video.